Hi, grade 9s. Welcome back to Math with Mr. Johnson. Unit 6, we're still in the midst of it here. We're going to talk about 6.3. This section deals with linear inequalities. Your first question is, what's an inequality? I'll get to that in 1 second. First off, our goal is to write and graph linear inequalities. The success criteria is the same as it has been for 6.1 and 6.2. So an inequality is a statement that one quantity is greater than or less than another quantity. So two things that are not really equal to each other. In this case here, we're talking about symbols like greater than or less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Because sometimes in math, there's more than one particular answer. So we can use an inequality to model a situation where there's a large number or a range of numbers that can be described as your set of answers rather than just one particular number. For example, to describe some situations, we might say that a quantity is greater than or equal to -5. So in this case, A is greater than or equal to -5. Just a little side note, where we have A, let's say if we have A is greater than, this just means that this side here that's blank, that would be, we could put it back into, like, let's say an animal. This animal wants to eat the bigger side. Okay, so that's how we can make our greater than or less than. I always find it confusing when I was in school. Less than, so we have a quantity that is less than 3.5. So M is less than 3.5. So let's get into some real life examples here. So for example, here's one. You're at a park, you need to be this height or above in order to ride it. Or you need to be this weight or below that weight in order to ride a particular ride. Or even to vote, you have to be 18 or older. So your age has to be greater than or equal to 18. Here's a couple other real-life examples. A participant's age to do something must be at least 16. And I'll show you two answers here. So the participant, we're going to say this is P, that's going to be the variable here, must be at least 16. This is the number we're talking about. Well, if it's at least 16, it's definitely going to be equal to 16. But it's also going to be greater than 16. So P is greater than or equal to 16. You could also say, if you want to be smart about it, if you try to be smart too much, you might go wrong. P is greater than 15. If this participant's age is greater than 15, they're definitely at least 16. Okay, question B, speed limit. I can't think of any more real-life math topic than a speed limit. You see that every single day. Speed limit is 50 kilometers, so our speed is less than or equal to 50. Okay, because we can't go over the speed limit or we might get a ticket. So our speed limit is equal to or less than 50, or we say less than or equal to. Another way to do this would our speed be less than 51. Okay. And then question C. To use the express lane at a grocery store, you must have 7 items or less. So that means our I is items. We're going to write in 7 here. Well, it can equal 7, and it's less than 7 as well. Another way to do this is our items have to be less than 8. I'm showing you 2 ways to do it. I would prefer that you do it this way, but like I said, there is another option. You could do this. I always like to use the numbers that are actually given in the sentences. But like I said, the other answers are not wrong. With me, could be with somebody else. Who knows? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to model a situation. So we're going to work with that pictorial outcome when it comes to modeling inequalities. So is each quantity a solution for this inequality? Before I do that, let me just dot out everything on the number line. Okay, so I've dotted everything out. I have a scale here. you would want to use a ruler here, but where I'm just working with technology and a mouse, it's not as clean as yours should be. If you look to my right side or my left side here, I don't really have any numbers that are less than -6, so I'm just gonna erase those. You don't have to have this centered. You can do whatever you want to for the number line, as long as it's to like a certain scale. So if you notice mine are kind of a similar distance apart. So we want to talk about what are our solutions for this inequality. So D is less than or equal to -3. So we're talking about right here. So less than would be to our left-hand side. Greater than would be to our right-hand side. So let's talk about this here. We have -6. -6 is over here. That's definitely less than -3 because it's to the left of it. 2.7, -2.7. So there's -2. So -2.7 would be about here. Ooh, that's greater than, so that's not true. 0 is way over here. That's way to the right. And we're looking for less than or equal to, so that's not right. And then -3.5. -3.5 is over here, so that works. And so does -6. Okay. Your method 2 is to use substitution. So if you take a look up here to the right, I've just copied down those possible answers here. So let's see if this works out. If I plug -6 in for D, is -6 less than -3? Yeah. Is -2.7 less than -3? No. Okay. And it's essentially like these are true or false statements. So instead of saying like check, you could say yes, this is true, or you could say true. Okay. And then here you could say false. Okay, for this one here, if we subbed in 0, you can say no, and then -3.5, that's going to be less than or equal to -3, so that is yes. Okay, now we're going to graph inequalities. So this is for a particular set. So we have B is less than -5. And let's just read over these points here. So to graph inequalities, we use a number line to graph them. And then the key note says, if the inequality reads greater than or less than, we use a hollow circle. If it reads greater than or equal to, or greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, we use a shaded in circle. So for example, for this one here, it just says less than. So we're going to put a hollow circle at 5. For this one here, it has a line down underneath it, so it is equal to. We're going to have a filled in circle here. Okay. Okay, it's going to be a shaded one. Now, if we have x is greater than 0, once again, that's going to be a hollow circle. So we can do this out. So we have b is less than 5. So let's go. Okay. So let's say this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, you get the drift. Now, to show this, here's what I would do. So I'm going to find 5. This is really important. Like I said, if there's no equal sign underneath here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a circle right there. It's a hollow circle. Now, everything that I want here is less than. So B is all the real numbers that are less than 5. So I'm going to draw a line right here. You can shade it in. And it continues, so I have to actually shade in this arrow. For example, like -100, that's less than 5. So I just need to signify that by shading in the arrow as well. So let's try the other two here, and you can pause it if you want and finish that up. All right, so I just want to go over these answers here quickly. So in this case here, like I said, your number lines, they can be pretty much any numbers you want to. So they can be 6 all the way through -1, or there could be a lot of numbers, or there could be few if you're just describing a little sentence like this. So we have m is greater than or equal to -2. So because it has this is an equality. So I'm going to put a shaded circle at -2, and it's greater than, so that means all of the numbers to the right. I need to shade this line here. Make sure you shade yours in. And like I said, where this continues, because once again, m could be 100. 100's not on this number line, but 100 is greater than -2. So that would be true for that case. So I have to include that arrow. That's what that is for. X is greater than 0. So because it doesn't have an equal to sign down below, it's a hollow circle. And then shade it in. And you're all set. Good to go. Alright, so that's how we graph linear inequalities. Okay, I'll get you to try these ones here. So if a is less than or equal to 4.5 or 4.5, and k is greater than or equal to -4.9, you pause it and then check your answers here. Alright, so here are our answers. So we have a is less than 4.5, less than or equal to 4.5, so that's why this here is hollow. Sorry, not hollow, it's shaded. And then we're going to the left. And then k is greater than or equal to -4.9. So we shaded this in here because of the equal sign down below. And then shaded everything to the right, including the arrow sign, because k would be greater than 4.9. Alright, that's how we graph and write linear inequalities.